And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe. Just vibe. Everything is vibration. Just let it seep in. Beats by Let's Zone Out Music. Let's zone out. Just vibe. Let that Taurus moon beautify your experience. Yeah. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in my door. And in doing so, understand, this is not about ego. This is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Yeah. Vibe. The vibe is the most important part. Attuned to kin. What it was, cuz. Yeah, welcome to the function. Bye. Yeah. It tastes good too. It tastes just as good as it looks. Yeah. Welcome to the Vibe Tribe. You are now a part of the PrIcElEs family. Yeah. Just let it seep in. We're going to take just a few minutes to let a few people trickle in, and then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Now today, we're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then I'm going to open the floor for questions. And wait, if you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking This is the perfect jam for that Aries, Sun, Taurus, Moon. I don't want to waste your time, but I'll give you all of my love tonight. Fucked up energy, fucked up soul. You see how that goes, Clorox bleach. Just fine. Your mama's pussy stole my motherfucking mustache, Clorox bleach. Or was it your wife or your sister? What's up, Montez McElroy? What's up, Love 12? My apprentice. While we're at it, y'all go subscribe to, what's your channel again? I done forgot the name of it again. Dang, oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue. It's something, Anchoring Divinity. Go subscribe to Anchoring Divinity. She's gonna be putting up more and more content as she goes, but this is my apprentice. That's what's up, Felix. I'm glad you were part of the family, fam. Yeah. Just fine. Make sure y'all hit the like button as we come in the door. We're gonna take just a few minutes to let a few more people feel this vibe. And then I'm gonna talk about what's going on cosmically. I'm gonna give you an energetic forecast. Yeah. That's what's up, John Galbani. I don't know why this camera is fucking with me today. There we go, that's better. What's my opinion on Sexy Red? I mean, she's not my cup of tea, but she's a typical Aries, and I don't have any hate for her. You can't grow up the way I grew up and love Too Short and have a problem with Sexy Red. You hear me? I grew up in the area where I love Too Short, baby. Too Short said, ain't nothing like pimping. Let it flow. Motherfucking shit, goddamn asshole. Ain't nothing like pimping. It just don't quit. I said, motherfuck you, you damn shithead bitch. That's Too Short. So there's no way for you to grow up on that and have an affinity for that and then have hate for Sexy Red. She's not my cup of tea. I don't want my child listening to her. But there is a space for that. Most definitely. But she's a typical Aries, man. She says whatever the fuck's on her mind, does what the fuck she wants to do. Somebody had to speak up for the ratchets. You got the Barbs. You got the little gangster motherfuckers with like glow. You got Cardi, who ain't ratchet, but she's Cardi. But you had somebody that had to speak for the ratchets for real. They needed a voice. And that's typical Neptune and Pisces shit. Don't matter what's right. Matters what's popular. What's trending. That's of the utmost importance with this culture. So I hope that answers your question. Licious Booty, I told you nothing was going to happen major. There were some minor shootings, and there were some, there were some people that got shot, and there was some other stuff that happened. But like I said, when I was telling you, there was going to be some random acts of violence. There wasn't going to be any world event. This is the start of something. It wasn't the accumulation. I love you too. John Golbani, do I have family members doing time? Sure. I've done some time. So yeah. What's up, Lum Jong Sanctum? How you doing? I hope everybody's doing good this afternoon. Y'all have to bear with me. I have a hernia, and so I might have to push this motherfucker back in. I popped a hernia over the weekend, and I just can't have surgery just on a whim right now. So I gotta deal with this as I'm dealing with it. So please bear with me. If it ain't one thing, it's another, right? So, let me get back to the gym. Let's vibe one more time. We're going to vibe for maybe 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to talk about what's going on cosmically. See, you got to be able to feel me before you can hear what I'm trying to convey. So let's get on the same vibration. This is not a cigarette. This is a cig of weed. There's no tobacco involved. It's not harmful to my lungs. So, do I feel any shifts from the eclipse? Kinda. I feel more of a burnout. People had a burnout. People got so worked up about it that there's kind of been a burnout. But Saturn is exactly conjunct to Mars in Pisces today, so you can feel like that. You can kind of feel like you're dragging today. More than anybody's feeling that eclipse, understand that eclipse was powered by Mars. Mars is conjunct to Saturn. I've told y'all this over and over. So with Mars conjunct to Saturn, and them both being in Pisces, you can feel like you're kind of moving underwater. You know how you're in your dreams, and it's like you can't get your full power. You can't run as fast as you need to. You can't fight as hard as you want to. It's kind of like that. Bogged down. What's up, Watkins Cat House? I'm not tired. I'm high. Nowhere near tired. Watkins Cat House, I'm glad you are. I'm okay. I got a hernia. I developed a hernia sometime Saturday morning. I don't know what happened, but I noticed it Saturday morning. And so I've been kind of dealing with that since then. So other than being stressed about that, it's all right. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I can just see it and feel it and hear it. So I got to push it back in every couple of hours or so. But yeah. What's up, double A? I got to take it easy. A lot of the stuff what's up, Water Bear? A lot of the stuff that I normally do, like work out, do push-ups, me being as active as I am and pacing even, I can't do that right now. So it's just like, man. That's what that was. I don't have any hair. The hair you see is the hair is the hair I can share. The hair on my face. I'm bald, baby. So y'all ready to talk about what's going on cosmically? I hope it gets better too, but it ain't a hernia ain't gonna get better. Before I even go any further, it is what it is. I mean, as far as hernias go, and this is an inguinal hernia, so like a growing hernia in my growing area. And it's smaller, but it's there. But with them, it's once it's there, it's a tear in your abdominal wall. Or sometimes it comes through the inguinal cavity, which is where your spermatic cord and some arteries come through. And so either way, they didn't do a sonogram on it, so I don't know which if it's direct or indirect, whichever way it's coming from. But I know it's an inguinal hernia, and basically it's tissue or intestines. Even it might be your guts, it might be fatty tissue, or it might be some other abdominal organ that's pushed through there. A lot of times it's either fatty tissue or the intestines, but sometimes it's other stuff. Now I don't have anything on that left side. It's on my left side, so it's not my appendix or my gallbladder or my liver. But it is what it is. And so I went and talked to him at the emergency room. I didn't get seen by a doctor because there's no need. And they just said basically that if I did stay, they would just diagnose me with the hernia that they could plainly see from the desk, and that they would refer me to a surgeon. And I can't get surgery right now. And so even with that method, a lot of people, as far as a hernia, unless it's what they call strangulated, or what's the other word? Incarcerated, funny as it is. If it becomes incarcerated, or in turn strangulated, meaning a piece of your intestine or a piece of fat gets stuck in the hernia, and the blood supply is cut off from it, then it can create some problems in its own right. Your tissue can die. You can end up having to have an emergency surgery. And that's rare that happens, but it can happen. But other than that, a lot of the times people wait months and even years. Even if I went to a surgeon today, they wouldn't do a surgery today. They would probably be months down the line. And so what they would do is, they do a watch and wait. And if it gets too bad where I can't stand the pain, or if it's something where it's infected or it's incarcerated or infarcted and that tissue is in trouble, then they'll have to do emergency surgery. But most of the time that doesn't happen. 98% of the time that doesn't happen. That happens maybe 2% of all hernias. So that's a rare occurrence, but it is a possibility. And so I just have to not fuck myself up any worse and hope that I can be able to push it back in. Right now, if I can feel it, I can just push it back in. I just push it back in. But other than that, it is what it is. I can't be coughing and tripping out and shit like that. So that's a problem. But I mean, it's just a part of life now. Until I have surgery, in which that won't be unless it's an emergency for a long time, there's nothing I can do about it. Chunker to you've had a hernia. An inguinal hernia? No, mine is inguinal. Royal bloodline. It's in my growing. Left part of my growing. It is what it is.
You're really taking your album title serious, huh? What? You having an off season or some shit?
It's about that big. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt, but it's there. That's why it's weird. is having something that you can see and feel, but it's not a pain, but you still are worried about it. It's typical Saturn conjunct Jupiter. My Jupiter is at 22 degrees of Pisces in my 6th house. So Saturn is now in my 6th, coming in. It's still in my 5th, but it's coming into a conjunction with my Jupiter. And so it's like I have great health, but it's something that I'm gonna have to take care of. It's something that's holding me back from enjoying things as much as I could have. And I mean, it could fuck me up, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna dwell on it. I'm not gonna dwell on it. Can I wrap it or apply pressure there? It's possible. It's possible, but I mean, I have a belt on, and they have trusses that you can do, and a lot of times those aren't recommended either. I could keep pushing that motherfucker back in every few hours or so. That's the method I'm gonna use. But yeah, I'm scared of surgery. I'm scared of doctors. All of it is just karma. Karma because of the fear, which we'll talk about that more when we talk about Saturn being conjunct. I mean, Saturn and Pisces. But yeah, basically, I have Saturn sitting in a spot where it's conjunct both my Jupiter and my moon. Saturn is now conjunct both Jupiter and my moon, and they're not even conjunct to each other. They're both in Pisces, but they're not conjunct to each other. My moon is 8 degrees of Pisces. My Jupiter is 22 degrees of Pisces. My moon is in my 5th house. Jupiter is in my 6th house. So Saturn is kind of sitting into a point now at 14 degrees, almost 15 degrees, where it's conjunct to both of them equally. Ironically as that is. And when I say karma, y'all understand, I always mean that karma is not consequence. This is not a consequence of something bad happening to me. It's stuff that I'm not taking care of. I mean, this is something that just happens. It happens to a lot of people. But it's going to force me to go have a surgery or force me to go to a doctor when I hate going to a doctor. And a lot of the times I've just dealt with stuff over the last year. There's stuff I've dealt with over the last year that just makes me be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wouldn't go to the doctor where I probably should have a lot of times. And eventually a lot of that stuff cleared up. But yeah. I had a tooth abscess a couple of weeks ago and I didn't go to a dentist. I went to an online doctor and got antibiotics prescribed to me twice. I did 2 courses of antibiotics. I did regular amoxicillin. It wasn't working as good as I wanted it to, so then I did augmentin right after that. But yeah, I just got off those antibiotics yesterday. But I have those phobias of doctors and shit, and because I've waited so long to go to the doctor now, because I waited so long to go to the doctor with this right here, or not because of the hernia, because it's just popped up, but with everything else I had going on, my digestive issues that I have, amongst a few other things, my fear is going for a hernia surgery, even if it's an emergency hernia surgery, and not waking up from the surgery because of all this stuff that I haven't told them about, or going to get a CAT scan to get ready for the surgery, or a sonogram to look at the hernia, and them seeing other stuff that's like cancer or something, and I have that phobia of that. And so having that phobia of that, it just makes me like, man, fuck this shit. I'll keep pushing this motherfucker back in forever. But yeah, it all derives around being scared. What's up, Alonzo? Yeah, I know health is wealth and all that shit, but fear is fear. And it's here. I understand it. I get it. Still scared. My mama died of sickness. Still scared. We ain't gonna make this about me, man. I already talked about it for too long. So, let's talk about what's going on cosmically instead of with me. Because ironically, we have the sun sitting at 21 degrees of Aries. And with the sun sitting at 21 degrees of Aries, it's all about you. It's not about us. It's about me. It's about you. This is an awareness of where you are in your life and where the fuck you need to be taking your next step. Now, there's a certain assertiveness that can sometimes develop into an aggressiveness with the sun in Aries. And then you also have to look at the fact that the sun is conjunct to both Mercury and Chiron. The sun will keep evolving into this Kazemi effect with Mercury retrograde in Aries over the next couple of days. It'll really look like something on Friday, or tomorrow even, and we'll have a Kazemi effect. And as we come into that Kazemi effect, I'm going to tell you, because this is Mercury retrograde, there's going to be some popping off. There's going to be some aggression. There's going to be some people that, you know, are coming off the cuff and saying exactly what the fuck they mean, for better or for worse, and they don't give a fuck about the consequences. And it might be you. And that's not a bad thing, because with this conjunct to Chiron, that both gives you an awareness of who the fuck you are and who the fuck you're dealing with when you're dealing with other people. Because if somebody comes at you fucked up, as I said, this is the perfect time right here where you're going to see and realize what it is for real between y'all. It doesn't mean you have to retaliate violently. It means it gives you an awareness of the situation. And you yourself, if you find yourself saying some shit that you normally wouldn't say to somebody, I want you to really, really, really think about it before you take it back. Because even if it was something you shouldn't have said, what you need to is apologize for saying that in that moment, but not apologize for how you feel. Because I guarantee whatever you say is what the fuck you mean. And there's a lesson to be learned in all of this with Chiron involved. There's a lesson to be learned from that. With Chiron being involved in this situation, it's like, okay, this is now letting you know. And what do I tell you with Chiron in Aries? With Chiron in Aries, awareness allows for accountability. Accountability allows for actions that lead towards healing. And sometimes there's shit you got to confront. Sometimes there's shit that needed to be said. Sometimes you got to make a mistake to realize what the fuck you have going on. Sometimes something might have to become a problem for you and be something that you're forced to confront. Like myself. Like myself. Ultimately. I might be forced to be in a situation now where the stuff that I'm worried about doesn't matter. I have to confront it. I have no choice. That's what it is. So with life, this is how it goes. There's going to be some stuff that happens that because of the way it develops so quickly, that you have no choice but to address it, and fear can't even be a part of the equation. Now, because of that, that can also get you into some dangerous situations. I have all this interestingly square to my Mars. See, my Mars is 21 degrees of Capricorn, so all of this is happening square to my Mars. And so there is a certain awareness and a certain a certain conflict going on here. That's hard to keep calm. I don't know who Elisa Jordana is. I don't know who that is. Now, just understand the sun is conjunct Mercury retrograde in Aries. So there's going to be some shit that gets said impulsively. There might be some things that people do, forcing situations. People might even get into some accidents, conflicts, confrontations. This is where this comes to right now. It's like this shit is coming to a head, but that's what's needed in the situation. Funny that we talked about an abscess earlier. If an abscess doesn't burst, then it can't heal. So a lot of the times it bursts on its own and it drains. Sometimes something bumps up against it. Sometimes you get it lanced. But either way, that's an infection. And so when you see this, this is where things get inflamed. Appreciate it, young Neff. This is where a situation comes to a head. This is where the universe forces your hand. And the new moon or the eclipse was the initiation of that. You feel what I'm saying? That eclipse is the start of something. That's the truth. The eclipse set it off. And then from that, now we get certain things coming to a head.
Oh my God.
That's the truth. You see situations develop very quickly. Hold on. But yeah, this right here is where this is how you take a progressive step forward. You can't have braces for teeth that have been knocked out and shit, homie. My tooth is broken. That's the truth. All right. Now, even with these fucked up teeth, I'm still flyer than you. More handsome than you'll ever be. So much swag, it can be a drag. That's the truth, baby. Lolly, what sign do you think I am? What sign do I come across as? Nobody tell her. What sign do you think I am? Now, let me get back to it. Because we need to talk about the moon. Let's talk about the moon. See, the moon is now sitting at 19 degrees of Taurus, and the moon is doing its thing in conjunction on its own right. The sun is conjunct to Mercury and Chiron. The moon is conjunct to Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus, so the moon is trying to calm you down. The sun is exalted in Aries. The moon is exalted in Taurus, so we're in an interesting time right here. This is an ultimate awareness, but you just need to chill and sit with it. This should help you boost your self-esteem with the moon conjunct to Jupiter and it being in Taurus. Yeah, just calm down. Now you understand what's going on. Allow yourself to process the situation so you can make the best move. Yeah, your next move has to be your best move. If you move impulsively, it could lead to danger or conflict. I'm definitely not a Sag. No, baby. I'm definitely not a Sagittarius. My sun is in the 9th house, so I do have some Sagittarius energy, though. That is interesting. Skinny Mini OG, you already know, though. Where you been? I definitely am Venus in Leo. You got that goddamn right. I'm Venus in Leo. That's my chart ruler. No, I'm a Cancer, baby. Mercury and Venus in Leo. Mars in Capricorn. Moon and Jupiter in Pisces. You hear me? There ain't no Libra to me. I got too much spunk. I could never be a punk. I'm a Libra rising, but I ain't. That's on me. It's not in me. You hear me? It's on me. I got Pluto in me. I got Mars in me. I got stars in me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a Cancer Sun, Pisces Moon. Libra rising, but with Pluto in the first house in Scorpio. So yeah. Mercury, Venus, and Leo in the 10th house. So that's what people see is that Leo energy. Mars and Capricorn in the 4th house. That's what's in me. That grit, that toughness, that hustle, that motherfucking cold-blooded killer. That Mars in Capricorn. I got Jupiter in Pisces, 22 degrees. Moon in Pisces at 8 degrees. Don't get me started, I'll talk about me all day. Saturn in Sagittarius in the 2nd house. Rick Sauce. Arrivederci. This ain't for you. Open your soul. What's up, Heather Nielsen, the commish? In this bitch. Yeah. Welcome.
Hey, Juice, let me know, sir.
This is where we at. Uranus in the 3rd house, Sagittarius. Neptune in the 3rd house, Capricorn. The Black Moon Lilith in the 8th house in Gemini. And see, I ain't like everybody else. I accept my Lilith. I ain't got no problem with femininity. No. I got too much water for that. Too much water. I'll backstroke in it. Now, let me get back to the transits. I could go on all day. I could go on all day. So, no, I'm not. I'm alive. Marcus Belger. I'm alive and I'm not a dolphin. I hope that gets you right in your understanding. Now, make sure y'all hit the like button. As long as you were here, hit that motherfucking like button. That's the least you can do if you're gonna come in and troll.
That's enough, Pluto. That's enough, Pluto. That's enough, Pluto.
Yeah. My moon is also. The eclipse will reveal all. It might. We're still in that eclipse energy. A regular new moon lasts about 2.5 days. An eclipse like that lasts about 2.5 weeks. So we're going to be in that energy for like 2.5 whole weeks. All the way until we get closer to Taurus season. It's going to be us in that all the way through to Taurus season. That's interesting in its own right, huh? We here though. Extremely blessed. Now, the moon is exalted in Taurus because that's the calmest place in the zodiac. It's safe. It's stable. You hear me? It's indulgent. It's patient.
That's enough, Pluto. That's enough, Pluto. That's enough, Pluto.
Yeah. That's the moon in Taurus. Now, the moon happens to be conjunct to Jupiter. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a calming effect. That helps you boost your self-esteem. It gives you the courage you need to face whatever needs to be faced. You just got to stay calm and deal with what you can deal with and let the rest deal with itself. You hear me? This is patience. Yeah. It's patience. It's self-worth. Self-preservation. Yeah. It's solid habits. Yeah. This is the moon in Taurus. This is the moon conjunct Jupiter, but the moon is also conjunct to Uranus. Now, what this means is there could also be some instances where you act against your values over the next couple of hours. Well, really a day and a half, the next 48 hours. No, 36. Let's leave it at 36. But yeah, this could be some money, but this is also where you, in order to get the money, in order to see those wild gains or to win, you got to be able to gamble. Now, the beautiful thing is with the moon conjunct to Jupiter also, this helps you gamble efficiently if you could do so. It's a smart gamble. It's conscious. The awareness that comes from the sun being in Aries is beautiful in its own right. It gives you the bravery needed. All right, and hey, you could take a loss, but you also could make some wild gains, but it's going to cause you, or it's going to have to be because you acted against your values. This is the moon conjunct to Uranus. Uranus falls in Taurus. Just like the moon is exalted in Taurus, Uranus falls in Taurus. Uranus is exalted in Scorpio because Scorpio's chaotic. Scorpio's chaotic and intense and transformative, and Uranus loves that. Uranus doesn't want to be stable. Uranus doesn't want to keep it safe. Uranus wants to ramp it up and raise the vibration. And so when you see the moon conjunct to this, there's also a certain feeling of not being satisfied that settles in, that can have you act against your values, like you want more. Whether you want to call it greed or overindulgence, with the moon conjunct to Jupiter too, like you want more. Jupiter don't know when to stop. So this starts to take on an effect in its own right. This takes on an effect in its own right. But what we gonna do? We got a vibe. That's what we're here for. Take it on the chin and deal what we can deal with and let the rest take care of itself. You have an awareness of your limitations with this. But the problem is Jupiter and Uranus want you to go past that. With their conjunction to each other in Taurus even, they want you to not be satisfied. Stay as long as you can. Eat as much as you can. Make as much as you can. Enjoy it as long as you can. Take everything you can out of this. But still be aware of gluttony. Still be aware of the gluttony. That's the truth with that. How we gonna do it? Now, who that's jamming? Do we have any sugar daddies in the house? Licious Booty needs a sugar daddy. We got any tricks in here? Oh, I'm sorry. back to where we were going with it. That brings us to Mercury. We kind of already talked about Mercury because Mercury is conjunct to the sun, but Mercury is retrograde, 23 degrees of Aries. Mercury is going to be retrograde until the 25th. So what's today? The 9th? No, the 10th? So it being the 10th today, we got 2 more weeks of Mercury being retrograde. We got 1 week under the motherfucking belt. A little bit longer than that, really. Because Mercury's been retrograde since the 1st. So what we see with this is people rushing. You see people getting an attitude. You see people getting irritated really quickly. And you can see some arguments which could ultimately become volatile. I won't say violent, but volatile. Can you dig it? This is Mercury retrograde in Aries. You're gonna see people talking out the side of their neck. You're gonna see people saying stuff they normally don't say. That happens in Aries anyway, but with this, there's a certain irritative effect on it. And I don't say irritable, I mean irritative. It can end up being irritable for you, but it's irritative in its expression. Irritating. But still irritative. I made that up. But yeah, you're gonna see people cutting people off and people getting mad about that shit. Like, motherfucker, I was talking. You're gonna see people not hearing anything anybody else has to say. They weren't even paying attention. They were thinking about what they was trying to say, what they was about to express, or where the fuck they was coming from. They wasn't even listening. Yeah. That's where they at with that. What's up, Mike 23? Take him out. Now, back to what I was saying. Mercury here is conjunct to Chiron for a few more days too. So once again, I'm telling you, it's Mercury in Aries that's kind of powering this party, or it's irritating the things that are going on. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. It gives you an appropriate awareness of what the fuck is going on. There's going to be some shit that gets instigated with Mercury retrograde in Aries. And whether it be a physical issue, whether it be a relationship issue, whether it be an argument with somebody else, whether it be a problem you have, and something just all of a sudden gets irritated. Whatever it is, this is just the universe forcing this confrontation because it needs to be had. That's why Chiron is here in this mix. Chiron is just not just a wounded healer. He's not a victim. He's a warrior. He's a poet. He's a teacher. He's a centaur. He's a demigod. And so Chiron is all of these things. And so with Chiron, with Mercury here, you certainly get an awareness of everything you are, or everything it is. This awareness, it might force a confrontation. Now you see what the problem is. Now you're being forced to address it. And in the process, you learn it's not a bad thing. Even if it doesn't turn out how you want it to, even if it ends up being something that's a scary situation, it's still better because you still took care of it. It's one less problem in your fucking life. And at the very least, you have an awareness of what the fuck is wrong now. Even if it's in a situation with somebody else, you have an awareness of where the fuck y'all stand. Motherfucker, you disrespected me. Motherfucker, you talked to me crazy. I feel like you meant what you said. And even beyond that, even if you didn't exactly mean what you said, you coming at me like that showed me the level of respect that you have for me. You feel me? The fact that you even tried me like that. The fact that you even had the nerve to say that shit to me. Lets me know that this is where we stand. And the same thing when you're dealing with somebody else yourself. If you find yourself acting some type of way towards somebody, that is a problem. Maybe that is something that needs to be addressed, whether it's with them or with self. And so you see that right here. Chiron, his punishment wasn't being immortal. Chiron was immortal. Chiron is immortal. That's not the punishment. Chiron was immortal, and Chiron got wounded with the arrow, yes. And he was in pain and agony for a long time because he couldn't die, because he was immortal. And so that was his reward. It wasn't his punishment. It was his reward. He asked to be taken out of his misery and be placed in the sky energetically instead. That's what the myth behind Chiron goes. Now, let's get back to it. Now, with Mercury conjunct to Chiron, there's going to be some shit that develops quickly, shit that gets instigated, irritated, infected, conflicted. But that's always giving you like a progressive push forward. You know, like when you and somebody are arguing back in elementary school, and they might not do this anymore. They don't do this anymore. But back in the day, and when we was growing up, if two dudes was arguing and bickering, especially in the hood, somebody's gonna push them together. If they're doing a whole bunch of fucking talking to somebody back then, somebody in the playground gonna push them together. Hey man, make them fight. It's kind of like that. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I was in prison is an incredibly political place. All right. I want you to understand, prison is an incredibly political place. It's racial, it's political, but in there, you have to fight. And it's not because you're proving you're hard. Well, it kind of is, but it's because that keeps there from being resentment. Like in there, people, like, because everybody's watching and because of the situation, if me and another man had a verbal argument where we raised our voices at each other, we are going to be forced to fight. And most of the time we're going to fight on our own because that's principle in there. But even if not, there's going to be so many people that instigate it. There's going to be so much stuff that goes on that there's going to be people that come up to you and be like, hey man, y'all gonna have to scrap. Even if y'all aren't affiliated by a gang or anything like that, people are gonna come up and say, hey man, y'all gotta scrap. Y'all gonna have to fight, bro. Motherfucker can't beat me. Y'all motherfuckers ain't finna be. And it's because of all that tension and shit, because somebody, you don't know how a motherfucker feels. Somebody could come back and kill you. If it's you in another race, there could be a racial problem now. Now their people are gonna get mad. Now there's gonna be people looking at all black people like they're weak, or looking at all Mexicans like they're weak, or looking at all white boys like they're weak. And so you start to see where they're gonna start coming at you like, hey man, y'all can't just let that ride. Y'all just can't let that ride. And you're gonna have to fight somebody if y'all don't handle it with each other. So a lot of the times it's already understood. If you and another person raise y'all voice at each other, then y'all have to fight. And as Spartan and as savage and as primitive as that seems, that also cuts down on a lot of the bullshit. That's the truth of that. That cuts down on a lot of the bullshit. There ain't no fucking resentment. There ain't no motherfucking. It gives you an awareness of both of where y'all stand with each other, where y'all stand as men, of the situation that's going on, and it also, yeah. Oh, I thought somebody was at my door. It also just alleviates a lot of problems down the line. And so with that situation, this is what you see with Mercury conjunct to Chiron, or the sun both conjunct to Mercury and Chiron, and then Mercury and Chiron conjunct to each other also. Is what you see with that is stuff getting instigated. Even if it's something inside of yourself, even if it's a problem in your life, even if it's a health issue, even if it's a relationship issue, even if it's just a bickering little misunderstanding with somebody, shit gets instigated really fast. And what this is, in essence, is the universe forcing your hand. Saying, no, 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 go ahead and get that out of the way. Go ahead and handle that. For better or for worse, you got to handle it. There's no other way for you to move forward unless you handle that. And so this is what you see with this. It's the universe forcing your hand. That's where we at. Can you feel me? Now, let's talk about Venus. Because Venus is the only thing here that's unaspected, but it's still in Aries. Venus is at 6 degrees of Aries. So what this is an impulsive love expression. It's a passionate love expression. It's an honest expression of love. But that also means when it ain't there no more, it ain't there no more. People are going to get involved with brief liaisons and shit while Venus is in Aries. People are going to be more impulsive in their love nature. Motherfucker will really dig somebody and really be willing to risk it all, per se. But then real quick, they'll realize that wasn't it, and they ready to move on to another situation or go back to their previous situation because what it really was is an impulse. What's cracking, Aiden the Sonny? But you just see how that shit go. You see how people jump into situations and people feel some type of way really quickly. I seen the other day, as savage as it is, I seen the other day as somebody was posting memes saying,
we hit the jackpot this time.
They're saying, man, that after that eclipse, I just want to fuck something. And I'm like, man, that's Venus in Aries, man. Like, that's where that is right there. Like it, like there, and Mercury's in Aries. So why did you have to say that? And that's the way people are these days. But more than anything else, it's like, damn, why you had to say that? And so, with Venus in Aries, this is impulsive. This is where you might find yourself risking it all. This is where you might find yourself being more passionate than normal. This is where you might find yourself being a little bit more impulsive than normal. You're acting on how you feel. You feel horny. It's hump day. That be Venus in Aries. And then you realize after that post-nut clarity, especially with Aries, that this ain't what you wanted. This is just what you wanted at that moment, but this wasn't no long-term solution. Yeah, Venus in Aries can get you into trouble. When Venus is in Aries, people fall in and out of love just like that. Yeah. It's a temporary attraction searching for satisfaction. That's what that is. That's Venus in Aries. Happy Mother's Day to Daniela Ketchum. I love mothers. I miss mine. That's what that was. The truth of the matter is, with Venus in Aries, you might catch yourself wanting to risk it all. You feel some type of way and you feel inclined to act on it. So that's going to have people doing stuff that might seem out of character. They might be more impulsive than ever. Now, I like this. I got Venus in Leo. If you like me, come get me, motherfucker. No, I'm just playing. I'm married. I'm married. See what Venus in Aries will do to you?
Boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
But that's... I shouldn't even said that. But it's this Aries energy. But the problem is I meant it. I meant it. The fact of the matter is, this is a temporary attraction, searching for satisfaction. This is Venus in Aries. I promise you it's going to go away as quickly as it came. This is passionate and post-nut clarity. Yeah. This ain't parody. No, this is straight up, baby. This is real. This is you acting on how you feel. Now, I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. I can't do shit. I got a hernia. I couldn't do nothing anyway. I'd be scared. I can't do nothing with this motherfucking hernia. Only short stroke it. Can't pull the whole effect. Can't strain. Fuck around and come and that motherfucker pop out. Hell nah. Can't fuck with it. Normal? Can't do that.
Hey, yo, Rand, turn that up.
They can't. They better get some home training in this bitch. Now, that's not all I need. I have Mars in Capricorn. I'm great at it, but that's not the most important thing to me. And maybe it's because I'm ran through. I'm old and I'm ran through. I did so much fucking freaky and nasty shit when I was young that I just ain't got that in me. I got Venus in Virgo progressed in my 12th house. And so that means I'm going to have it for years. I've had it for years. So I'm not really the most, I mean, I used to be, but I'm not really the most sexual person or even the most affectionate person right now. I'm here. I'll do anything for you. So I'm more or less, I'm burnt out. Maybe I'll get a second win when I'm old. But for the moment in time, I'm burnt the fuck out. Ran through. Ran the fuck through. My pee hole is loose than a motherfucker. Just vibe. DBD 88. Now back to where I was going with this. I keep getting sidetracked. Venus in Aries is impulsive. Be careful jumping into situations and being willing to risk losing it all, because you could lose it all. When you're willing to risk it all, you could lose. That's the truth. You're risking. Nigga, risking for some biscuits or some cakes. And I mean that shit. The feeling ain't fake. This is Venus in Aries. This is an impulsive expression of love. This is an immediate attraction. Temporary. But it's still seeking satisfaction. That's Venus in Aries. No, I don't cheat. I don't cheat. I don't fuck around. I used to, but I retired that 2 years ago. I started getting, she got Venus in Scorpio. She'll cheat on your ass back. She cheat on my ass back. This is the truth. That's the problem. I'm dealing with a Venus in Scorpio. And she's a Capricorn. she cheat back. It's tit for tat in this motherfucker. That's the truth, shit. And let you know she cheated. She get caught on purpose because she was proving it was to prove a point. But yeah, I had to learn the hard way, shit. I was just fucking hoes. I worked at a bar. She fucked the kid's barber. That's the truth. Yeah, Diana Sturgis, I got Venus in the 10th house, but that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's that dirty, that's that Venus in Scorpio shit. Shut up. But yeah. I was just fucking hoe. And I mean, I was doing it. I was just I was fucking rando. She fucked the kid's barber, man. And I worked at a club, so she also knows that he comes to my club. I worked at a club, so she knew he comes to my club, and I was gonna see him because I was the head bouncer. And so that motherfucker just coming in. She knows what type of dude I am. I'm not finna charge him up, first of all, for fucking my girl or my wife. She wasn't my wife yet, but she was my girl at the time. She's my wife now. But I'm too player for that. And so all I can do is just be as polite to him as possible and treat him like everybody else or better than everybody else. But at the same time, I know he looking and knowing that he done. Goddamn. Yeah, that scorpion stung me. Then I find out she fucked the kid's daycare dude who also worked for me at the bar. He's like, God damn. He was my best friend. He's the dude that got me my job. So she let me know right off the rip. It ain't no game to be played. We broke up for a year after that. I left. I couldn't take it. But yeah, it was like, man. But that's that scorpion. This ain't trauma dumping. This is relating. It's the sharing of experience. It's not a bad memory. I wouldn't talk about it. I'm fond of it. It led to one of the greatest eras of my life. That's the truth. But back to what I was saying. That brings us to Mars. And Mars is at 14 degrees of Pisces. Matter of fact, she has Mars at 14 degrees of Pisces. She's in a fucking Mars return. But with Mars, you first have to understand Mars in Pisces is already confused enough. This is a confused expression of energy because emotions are so heavily involved in the mix. And sometimes it's not even your own emotions. It's the mood of the moment or the temperature of the times. But that feeling still has to be compensated for. And because that feeling has to be compensated for, it makes things that much more complex. So Mars in Pisces is one of the most complex energetic forms that there are. Now, the thing is with that is you have to find some type of way to still get things done and handle your shit. So you have to find some type of way to get into a rhythm. That's the trick with this. Get into a rhythm. Now, what you have to add into this dynamic is Saturn is also at 14 degrees of Pisces. So Saturn is conjunct to Mars. So when you have Saturn conjunct to Mars, what you get is, and especially in Pisces, is this bogged down effect. People are tired or burnt out, especially after that eclipse. There was so much confusion and bullshit and such a interesting stigma to that eclipse that a lot of people got caught up in that energy, which that was controlled by Mars and Pisces in its own right, because Aries is ruled by Mars. So when you see an eclipse or a new moon with the sun and the moon and Chiron and Venus all in Aries, and Mercury too, you have to look where Mars is. Mars is in Pisces. Saturn is conjunct to Mars. So there's some fear involved in that. There's a certain stigma that was around that eclipse that's never been around anyone. And you also have to think about the American ego. Total solar eclipses happen like once every 18 months. I'm talking about all the time. Only with it being over America could it mean it's the end of the world. That's so egotistical. It's also so typical. Like, it's not over Israel or Palestine while they're going through their conflict. It's going over America, so it means it's the biblical apocalypse. When there was no knowledge of the United States of America in biblical time. And so people took this and they built such a stigma behind it that now, after this eclipse, it's kind of like people are burnt out a little bit. And there's like this bogged down feeling. Like I said, it's like that feeling you get when you're in your dreams and you're trying to fight. And there's several things that happen. Sometimes when you're in your dream, you're trying to fight, you're hitting somebody and you can't hurt them. Or other times you're in your dreams and your arms they're like noodles. Or like you're running and you're in your dream and it feels like you're underwater, or your legs just can't move. You know how it goes. That's how you see people feel now after we had this eclipse. It's like, man, I'm trying to get up and get going again. I'm trying to get my energy back right because people are tired and the energy is bogged down. There's something new that came from that eclipse that we don't recognize yet. So that adds a complexity to the issue. That eclipse wasn't the culmination of anything. A new moon is never the culmination. The full moon is the culmination. The new moon, and especially a solar eclipse, which just is a new moon on steroids, that total solar eclipse is the start of something. It's a spark. It's the fuse being lit. Now, over these next few days, with the sun coming into this conjunction with Mercury and Mercury being conjunct to Chiron, what that does is give you an awareness of just what has gotten started. You feel me? This is interesting. It's scary, it's interesting, it's a whole bunch of shit. I mean, what can we do? Yeah. Go back to Africa. Go start your YouTube channel where you testify to people. Adrian. Somebody block this racist. Please. If we will. Thank you, Iran. You got love from here. Now, where are my moderators at? I know some of y'all are here. Like, y'all, hey, be knocking these people out, man. Please. Hey, Tiger Lily, how are you? But, yeah, man. Mars is conjunct to Saturn, so there's a certain bogged down effect with this energy, and it's certainly there. But there's something that's making it like harder to express. There's something that's making it even more complex, even a little heavy. And so that is what it is. What's up, Miss Blessed? Circulation Motion, 1998. The last shot of the game, I want I want Kobe. I said Jordan. I want Jordan, but I want Kobe, not LeBron. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Now that brings us to Jupiter. And Jupiter is at 19 degrees of Taurus now. And this is interesting because Jupiter is coming into that tight conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. So there's definitely some money to be had in this situation. Or there's some money that people are going to have to spend all of a sudden. You see some unexpected expenses coming up. You also could end up coming into some money. I've been having business flourishing a little bit here lately. But I've also had people hit me up for money from all different directions. And I even have seen myself have some unexpected expenses come up. But the funny thing is I've had more money available. And so with Jupiter sitting here in Taurus, understand Jupiter is philosophy, abundance, luck, blessings. It is expansion. And when I say expansion, I mean there is no boundaries to what Jupiter is expanding. So when you see Taurus, and Taurus is representing what's valuable, it's representing money, it's representing material beauty, textile sensuality, it represents taste. Libra represents class. Taurus represents taste. Represents patience, accumulation. And so with Jupiter and Taurus, this is a philosophy of abundance. This is the power of accumulation. This is indulgence or overindulgence. You hear me? And then when you see this coming into a conjunction with Uranus, what you see is money, franchise. Franchise is money coming in, money going out. That's what you see. You see people having unique opportunities to make money. You see people making more money during this time. I always have a lot of my clients always ask me, should I play the lottery? And I'm never going to advise somebody to play the lottery because I just, you know, I just think that's bullshit. But, ow! Sorry, I got a nap right there. But this is the time for you to try to play your cards right financially and try to get yourself some opportunity to prosper in this situation. Look for an opportunity to prosper. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. And that's beautiful in its own right. Yeah, get on your hustle. But be patient. Don't rush anything. Just be aware of your situation, be aware of your opportunities, and act on them quickly. Let that intuition and impulse that comes from the Aries energy let you act on these opportunities and then watch how it pays off. See, there's not just one thing going on. I can only talk about one aspect at a time, but you have to look at all of the transits I've told you and then try to incorporate them all. Even if they're not aspecting each other, they're still happening simultaneously or concurrently. And so the same time the sun is conjunct to Mercury and Chiron, the same time the moon is conjunct to Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, the same time that Jupiter is in Taurus conjunct to Uranus, we have this all going on at the same time. You have Mercury conjunct to Chiron, you have Mars conjunct to Saturn, you have Jupiter conjunct to Uranus, you have Neptune sextile to Pluto. And so with all of this shit, this is all happening simultaneously, and what you have to do is make the best out of this situation accumulatively. The accumulative energy right now is actually a perfect opportunity to prosper. Especially today. The sun is exalted in Aries. The moon is exalted in Taurus. Mercury is in Aries and it's retrograde, but hey, you just got to deal with it. Venus is in Aries, so people want more. People want to take chances. People want to risk it all. You got Mars and Jupiter, or not Mars, pardon me. You got Mars and Saturn in Pisces. So that right there can give you an element of restraint. It gives you a time to process things. It's really helping you process things. That might slow down the energetic output, but it also lets you get a direction. And that's what you need with Mars in Pisces, is direction. Rhythm and direction. Saturn being here, as tough as it can be, through this time and this effect that Saturn is adding, it's making you process everything. It's making you go ahead and figure out what needs to be done, what direction you need to take, even if it's frustrating and even if it slows you down. With Jupiter in Taurus, that's a common effect. It's patience, but it's also greed. In its own way, it's desire. People aren't satisfied. People want more. People want to make more. People want to enjoy more. They want to experience more. Jupiter is expansion. People want more money. Guarantee you that. With Jupiter conjunct to Uranus, a lot of times they're willing to discard their previous value system in order to see more opportunities for profit. Like, damn. It's like that. People want more. With Uranus in Taurus, there is an opportunity for more. But you got to be willing to take a risk. You got to be willing to get outside of that normal value system. You got to get outside of that comfort zone. And you might be forced to do so because there's nothing stable out here. There's opportunities for profit and prosperity, but it ain't stable. That's the truth of that. So you see how all of this energy works together. Now, Saturn is at 14 degrees of Pisces. And what's Saturn in Pisces? It's fear. It's resentment. It's worry. It's addiction. It's avoidance behaviors, escapist tendencies. It's the shit you don't want to deal with. The shit you've been ignoring. The shit you've been trying to avoid. The shit you've been trying to escape. It's right here. Whether it's a situation with somebody else, a situation with yourself, whether it's an emotion, it's time for you to take responsibility for your emotions and how you feel. And if it's not yours, then you have to discard it. But that means discernment. And so with Saturn in Pisces, this is where you need to deal with your shit. Some would say it's karma, but karma is not consequence. I told y'all that earlier, even in my own situation. If I end up having a major health issue, it's because I won't take my ass to the doctor, no matter how many people tell me to do so. I'm scared of the motherfucking doctor. I'm scared of being diagnosed with something. I'm not scared of doctors. I'm scared of being diagnosed with shit. I believe that if you have some type of illness, you don't start dying until you get diagnosed. I've seen this play out. There's people that have all types of symptoms and they have a lot of stuff going on, but they keep living their life. But when they get diagnosed, they dead. And I'm not with that. I obviously have some issues. I know I have a hernia. I know, and so now being scared of the hernia is not because I'm scared of the hernia. This is the confusion that comes with Saturn and Pisces. It's not because of the hernia. It's because of something else. The hernia that I'm aware of, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the hernia getting bad enough to where I have to have an emergency surgery, and me in the process of getting in a surgery that they tell me that there's other stuff wrong with me. of fear, and the fear is the problem because I need to take care of the hernia. I need to take care of other stuff, like all of it. I'm not that sick because I could walk around here and skip and whistle and do all this shit. Now I have a hernia, I can't. But before I had the hernia, I could. I was just fine. It was my mind that was messed up. But now there's that, and what's that? A product of stuff you're not dealing with. It's not karma because I'm a bad dude. No, I'm an awesome guy. It's not life coming to get me. And so it's just life, doing what life does. People have hernias. People get sick. People die. People get their heart broke. People lose. People win. People hurt your feelings. People leave you. You leave people. Y'all get back together. That's just life. And life is not out to get you. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're just a part of a process. So do yourself a favor and process your shit. Do the universe a favor and work on your shit. That's the truth. You got to deal with your shit and understand. And that means realizing that you're not a fucking victim of circumstance. If somebody, as far as another human being, is victimizing you, or if you feel like you're a victim in a situation, you have to confront that within your own self. So it's like you're letting the fear, the lack of faith really, have too much control over your life. Fear is a lack of faith, but that's what it ultimately is a lack of faith. You have a lot of people that are lacking faith. You have a lot of people that are worried. You have a lot of people that are confronting addictions right now. And there's a lot of people that are getting sober. There are a lot of people that are really going through some major changes right now. They're giving their life to Christ because they feel some type of way. They feel like they need something. And I implore you to do whatever you need to do to help your spirit and your soul. That's the truth. I used to just meditate. I found myself praying here lately. I've become a praying man. And I feel guilty doing it because I feel like I only pray when things are really bad, like when I'm in prison or when I'm worried, super scared. And so I've had to really confront certain things with that as far as my faith. And so when I pray, it can't be typical. It can't just say, you know what I'm saying? It's not, dear Heavenly Father, or dear Jesus Christ. It's, dear God, Creator, angels, archangels, ancestors, guides, mama, nana, anybody else that's listening. I'll send a prayer out to the universe, baby, to everybody that loves me and is there for me in a positive way. And so when I do that, I first have to confess who I am, which I think you should do that in prayer anyway. So whether they call it confessing their sins or whatever, I confess who I am, what I am, where I'm falling short at, and acknowledge that I'm not worthy of grace. I'm not worthy of being saved, but I'm still gonna ask. I still need guidance. I still need guidance. There was a time where my ego was so caught up in my knowledge that I got away from my faith. And that's the problem with my Saturn in Sagittarius, is I know a lot of stuff. And I've always had a lack of faith because I'm so intelligent. I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge, but because of that, it's made me have a lack of faith. It's hard to trust in what I don't know because I've always known a lot. And so even in this fearful time that I've been through with Saturn in Pisces, It's not what I know, because there's a lot of stuff I know. It's what I don't know that's so scary. And the great unknown is death. And no matter what anybody says they know about what happens, nobody really knows. I'm not scared of the act of dying. I'm scared of being dead. Meaning not existing. Like before you were born, or not being aware. I might settle for hell if I'm conscious of what's going on. To me, being in this life of awareness, the worst thing that I could ever be was dead. I don't want to sleep peacefully for eternity. I want to be aware of what's going on, or wherever plane I'm on. But yeah, I've had this thing lately to where I've had to find my faith again, and that's what Saturn in Pisces is all about. Like, I had to find some way to deal with this shit, this fear, and I am a man of God. It might not be in the expectations of religion, but understanding I'm operating in love. So I had to reach out in love and say, hey man, like, give me strength. Even if you're not gonna heal me or heal my mind, give me strength to deal with whatever I need to deal with. I need the strength. I need the courage. That's what I lack. I have all the knowledge. It's funny that I have Aries on my 7th house too. I have all the knowledge. It's the courage that I need. Not when I'm forced. See, fighting is not something that's courageous. If you're a fighter, sometimes you fight out of fear. Fighting physically is a projection of ego, and it's at times to prove things in a situation. And shit, Watkins Cat House, we know you scared of being alone, because you gonna be, what you gonna do is jump into a relationship with a motherfucker as soon as possible. Oh, that hurt my fucking heart. That's exactly what you gonna do, is jump into some shit ASAP. What the fuck? I believe you, but you still been talking and dating and entertaining. So don't play. I know you too well. Exactly. You still talking and dating and entertaining and fucking and sucking and all that shit, cause you, hey, you got it in you. You got it in you, or you want it in you. And if they ain't maxing it out, you want somebody to come over there and max it out. Like, you want him to break them boundaries. If he just show up, you told him not to come over there, but if you told him not to, and you trying not to, but if he just popped up on you, you're not sure how you might react. You might let him hit it. Stop playing. I know you better than that. I need to stop talking, because I be speaking shit into existence. That motherfucker be over there in a couple days. Mercury's retrograde, he can't take the motherfucking weight no more. He's finna come tear that ass up. I already know. He'll be over there. Either that or your baby daddy be over there. Or the one after him, or the one that was in between both of them. One of these motherfuckers you didn't ask me about. I know you ain't trying to be alone. But yeah. you're gonna have to find some type of way to access your faith right now. With Saturn in Pisces, maybe that's the best way for you to deal with things. But you have to, whatever it is, the normal coping mechanisms, that escapist shit is not gonna work. The drugs are more sinister than ever. People are overdosing more than ever. People are fucking up, getting DWIs. They're getting caught up. Like there's a point where, since Saturn has been in Pisces, where addictions have taken on a really heavy effect on people. They're taking even a heavier toll. Tiger Lily, I don't know. Everybody be wanting me, but I be wanting them. I got Venus and Leo, shit. If you want me, shit, I want you, shit. I don't know nothing about that. No, I'm just playing. But, oh, hold up, I dropped my blunt. But, yeah. All of that. All of that. Now, let me get back to the transits, please. That next brings us to Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus. So I'm not going to go through the whole spiel we normally do. I'm just going to say there's not a stable market out here. But, so that means the nature of business has changed. That means that you can't get stuck in any particular way of doing things. You can't get comfortable thinking that this is how you make money now, because that's not how it goes. You have to be open-minded in your approach. You have to be adaptable in your hustle. And if you are, you can get paid. We've seen the nature of business completely change over the last 5 years. And you've also seen so many unique opportunities for people to start prospering in different ways. You have so many different ways you can make money. You have so many different ways that you can uniquely reward your own hustle. If you turn your profile professional on Facebook and you do enough posting and you do enough sharing, you will make some money. If you're willing to sacrifice your value in some way and you take your ass on OnlyFans, anybody can make money. No matter what freaky shit you want to do, anybody can make money. If you got a driver's license, you can turn your car into an Uber or a Lyft or a DoorDash or a Grubhub or a Post-its or a GoPuff just like that. And you can make as much money as you want to. You can go on Instagram and you could touch up as much pictures and videos as you want. You can pay to boost your motherfucking content. You can have a motherfucking 5 million followers in 3 weeks if you're willing to spend enough money. You do enough stupid shit on Twitch, you make up the right stupid dance, you can make a whole bunch of fucking money. You want to go put some motherfucking loose-ass yoga pants on and show off your booty or your coochie while doing yoga moves, you can make some motherfucking money. If you want to steal other people's content and go create profiles of their profiles and take all of their videos and all their shit off their pages and keep posting it and just keep changing the name by one letter, you can make a lot of fucking money. The nature of hustling has changed in its own right. Motherfuckers don't even be selling drugs that much no more. Motherfuckers be on a whole bunch of different hustles. Scamming and counterfeit. Making cards. Technology, and Uranus rules technology in this way. Technology has made everything different. Now, you also can't get caught up in one way of doing things. You cannot get stuck in any mode of operation or any method, because things change. Constantly, things are changing. That's the truth. And so the nature of what's valuable changes all of the time. Some shit could become trending in a day or two, and that shit could fucking skyrocket, and it could be something that's now a commodity. Some people could cancel a product or a person. That some people could make up some shit about a product or a person, and then that person's whole hustle be killed, or that product be canceled. This is what you see. So you have to be able to switch things up. TikTok, which a lot of people make money off of, it might get taken away. It might disappear. So people are going to have to switch platforms or find some type of other way for them to do their thing. Elon Musk could have actually solved world hunger for $5 billion. And he talked about doing so. But instead, he bought Twitter for $50 billion, named it X. And now all it is mostly porn and misinformation. It's not worth a third of that now. He thought he was going to have something that took off, have a platform that took off and made him rich, but now it's something completely different. That's Uranus and Taurus. This shit crazy, cuz. What you need to ask yourself is, why does your soul look like that? Why you have such a fucked up aura that you got to come on somebody else's channel hating, spewing negativity? See, we're a vibe tribe. We're not thirsty for subscribers or hungry for attention. No. We're here to raise the vibration with this knowledge and information. And it ain't going to be for everybody. If it ain't for you, swipe up. If it's something that you relate to, welcome to the Vibe Tribe. You are now a part of the PrIcElEs family. This is priceless knowledge of self. Make sure you subscribe. That's the truth. Now let's get back to where we were. Uranus in Taurus is an incredibly unique energy because there is no stability, but there is unique opportunities for profitability. I said profitability. Profitability, pardon me. See, I'm talking too fast. It's Mercury retrograde in Aries. It is what it is. It was what it was. Now, sorry. 13 Moon Lily. Got him looking silly. But, back to what I was saying. There's no excuse to be broke. There's too many ways to make money. You just can't get caught up in one hustle. You have to be adaptable. Getting stubborn or getting stuck will put you in a really, really hard place. So be careful with that. Now, Neptune is at 28 degrees of Pisces. So, we live in a confused, copycat-ass culture. Real don't even matter, and real ain't even real no more. What's right doesn't matter. What's trending is what's more important. The blind are leading the blind. And people are way more caught up in the appearance or the label than the purpose or the point. That's where we're at with this. I'm gonna be honest, it's sad. It's sad, man. And it's real easy to get caught up in it or by it. But you can't do that to yourself. What you have to do is let your inner compass be your guide. You have a main line to the divine that resides inside of you. You need to access that. You need to tap into it. Let that guide you. Whether you want to call it God's guidance, Jesus Christ, your higher self. No matter what you want to call it, you have to search for that higher power. Let that guide you. See, even spirituality has become a fad these days. And that is in all realms. Whether it's people who are more involved in metaphysics, or people who are involved in witchcraft, or people who are involved in Islam, people who are involved in Christianity. Like you see it gets confused. Like I was just watching Facebook, and I was scrolling on videos earlier today, and I saw several ads for the Mormons, which is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And each one of these ads featured two beautiful young women staring into the camera engagingly, telling you to come join or come to church at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I immediately caught it like, man, this is propaganda. See, religion is a business in its own right. Belief would sell itself. But, hold on. They immediately got to the point where they're selling, I mean, it's not sex outright, but they are basically playing dirty. They're playing dirty. You see the religious or even the spiritual community, when it comes to astrology and numerology, and people who call themselves just spiritual, and people who are into chakras, and people who are into Reiki and all this other stuff, like people want you to pick what realm that you are in. What are you aligned with? Just like somebody came on here earlier and asked me, what's your pronouns? That matters more than you being free to be who you are. What's your pronouns? Just like, are you a Vedic astrologer, or are you a Western astrologer, or are you Placidus, or are you Whole House, or are you an INFJ or INFP, or are you this, or like you have all of this, but people want you to pick they want you to be something. You have to be a label. Doesn't matter who you are, it matters what you are. Doesn't matter that I'm a knowledgeable person that's trying to help. I need to make sure that I use the appropriate labels. And instead of us being more connected than ever, we're more discriminatory than ever. Even when it comes to astrology and the zodiac, you have people who are going to, through their own experiences or from things they heard about other people or from propaganda, they're going to act some type of way towards certain placements. You're going to have people who develop discriminations against certain placements because of what they heard. How many times have you heard somebody say, "Oh, you're an Aries. I don't like Aries. They're fucking," and like you don't even know shit about that person. You are worried about a label that somebody told you about. You're a product of somebody else's experience now, which is crazy. That shit is crazy. And so you see people are way more worried about what it seems like than what it is. But that's because reality in itself is not clear anymore. Nobody really knows what it is or what's going on. You have a whole bunch of people projecting. And the ones that aren't projecting are expecting. I'm going to project my beliefs onto you. I'm going to project my perspective onto you because you allow it. The other people are receptive to it. They expect it. It's a crazy ass motherfucking feeling with this, man. People get caught in the crosshairs between their different layers to their personality. See, even you are not you anymore. You have several projections of yourself in different realms. Who you are fundamentally inside of you is the most important thing. That's what you need to connect with. But you have so many projections because you have who you are inside. You have this character that you try to portray yourself to be, that you want to be, that you try to be. You have who you are in your relationship, and that is different whether you realize it or not. I told y'all that last time, because when you have a partner that y'all are committed to each other, they have certain expectations. And you have certain expectations on them, but it goes both ways. But those expectations are something that you are going to try to live to. And that is a projection of who you really are fundamentally. Even if you're trying hard to be a good person, and you are. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but what you're ultimately doing is still fulfilling that projection or that expectation. You're projecting into that expectation is really the terminology I need to use. You are projecting into that expectation. And then you have who you are at your job, which you have to be appropriate in a certain way at your job that you can't be inside of yourself. No matter what your job is. Even if you have a job that you have to act differently. Say you're a dancer. And when I say dancer, I mean an exotic dancer. You have who these people expect you to be. You have who you really are. And then you have who you're projecting, the character you've created. Say you work at an office. You have who you really are inside of you. You have what their expectations of you are on the job, and you have the projection into that expectations that you try to portray. And then separate from that, you have your social media presence, which that means several different projections in its own right. Because you might have several groups you're a part of, or you might have several different social media profiles, and you show a different part of your personality to each one of them. And so not only do you also have yourself, you have those projections, then you also have people's perceptions of who you are through your projections. It's another element of you. And all of that shit gets confusing now. All of that shit gets confusing. So you have to find something fundamental, and that's inside of you. You have to remember that. You have to connect with that. Let that guide you, not the expectations, not the projections. You have to find that inside of you, because all of the shit out here is smoke and mirrors. The very reality that you're experiencing is not the base reality. It's a projection or an energy hologram. That's the thing. It ain't even whatever you think it is. So you can't trust that. You have to be able to trust that shit inside of yourself. And that's not easy. It's not easy in any way, form, or fashion. But what you gonna do? You gotta find something fundamental, baby. Before you get yourself into an issue. That's the truth of that. Now, that next brings us to Pluto. Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius. Tomorrow we'll be at 2 degrees of Aquarius. But with Pluto here, things have changed. The power of the people is more prevalent than ever. You see that play out in so many different ways, whether it be in politics, whether it be professional wrestling, whether it be your own personal life and relationships. Because of technology, because people's opinion is so powerful right now, the world is a crazy place. It almost seems chaotic. And we'll eventually hit on a better method for us all to make things better for all of us. But right now, this shit is crazier than ever. I'm talking about crazier than ever. See, you can look at, as we've talked about several times, politics all over the world. Something new has to come from everything that's going on. Even if it means that we have to have a war. The United States can't function in the way that it's functioned after this. Whether it be the problems with Texas, whether it be the problem with politics, the United States is going to have to change drastically over the next 20 years, and it will. Whether it's foreign relations and the way that we deal with people, like there's different things that are going to have to come about. There's things that have already changed, and we notice that now. And the people are more powerful. So when people realize Donald Trump is not a powerful person, he's rich. He has a powerful presence. And the people that believe in him are who are powerful. The people who believe in the shit that Trump says are the most powerful and dangerous people that there are. The politics behind Joe Biden is what's powerful and dangerous with him. And you don't know if he's a puppet or the puppeteer. Neither one of them should be the president of the United States, but at this point, it seems like we don't have a choice and people are willing to take a radical approach no matter what. And you can see it even, like I said, in professional wrestling is a perfect example. The Rock came back to professional wrestling. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And he thought that he was just going to take over the main event at WrestleMania with his cousin, Roman Reigns. They're cousins. The Rock is The Rock. He thought he was just going to come. But see, the people believed in Cody Rhodes. And this is not just a part of the storyline. It ended up being a part of the storyline, but this is what actually happened. The people felt some type of way about The Rock treading on Cody Rhodes' opportunity to become the champion because he lost last year at WrestleMania to Roman Reigns. And so people started talking shit, tweeting. People started chanting in the arenas. Until where they had to change the whole fucking story. To where Cody ended up he got his place back. And he ended up having a beef with The Rock. And that ended up being something even better. Something different than they thought it was going to be in the first place. They had to do something completely different. But it ended up being something that was better. But the people changed that shit. It doesn't matter what the company wanted to do. The people changed that shit. They said, "No, we're not having this. You're not like we want to see Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, but we also want to see Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, and The Rock versus Roman Reigns." So now it's like a whole thing with all of them, and it's silly, but it's a perfect example of what's happening. You see the situation with Russia and Ukraine. The infrastructure of Ukraine has been destroyed. Russia is not doing too well either because they've depleted resources in this fight. And it feels like now that they're getting backed into a corner by NATO. And so they're threatening to fire nukes. Putin has said, hey, this is probably going to result in me firing a nuke. For better or for worse, this is probably going to result in me firing a nuclear weapon. The world won't be the same after that. It doesn't matter if there's an open nuclear war. The world will not be the same after that. That's the truth of that. When it comes to Israel and Palestine, everybody's watched. The perception that people had of Israel is not the same anymore because of the power of the people, because of technology. Before, you had people who because of what they thought Israel represented biblically or historically, they paid attention, but they did. It took now people realizing that there's a whole situation going on where Palestine is being attacked, and I'm not for one side or the other. I'm just saying this is this is what has to go on, and now it's to the point in that where that's going to develop into a global conflict because Israel has fired at Syria, now has attacked Syria. And Iran is planning to attack Israel or the United States. So now that becomes what they call a conflict in that area of the world. And things won't be able to exist in the same way that it has after that. So things are changing. Things are changing drastically, and every day situations are evolving. You think about the way people were all on that eclipse the other day. There's been eclipses years and years before this, and people looked at it, but people weren't on them like they're on this one. People ain't on it like they on this one. It's different. You see people openly talking about the possibility of aliens. You see people thinking about AI and using AI the way that they have. Like, the world is a crazy and different place. It's never what we've expected it to be, but it's completely different. We now have a completely unique situation. Shit is crazy. It's a completely unique situation. It's almost scary. It is scary. And it's just because for people like myself, with Pluto in Scorpio, especially with this square my Pluto now. My Pluto's 4 degrees Scorpio, so Pluto's coming into a square with my Pluto now. I have a certain attachment to the way things were in the past. And even then, like, I have a certain stubborn approach to my survival mechanisms. Shout out to Sigma World 995. Y'all go subscribe. But yeah, now you just see how these things kind of develop. And you see how the world in its own way is a completely different place than it was just a few months ago. And it's going to be a completely different place in 6 months. Because of technology, because of advancements, because of awareness, and more than anything, it's because people are willing to accept things. People are more open-minded than ever. They're being forced to be so. See, Pluto in Aquarius, the reason we experience all these changes is because this is fixed air. It's not just because things are different or people are thinking differently. It's because people were willing to think differently. It starts with that. It doesn't have to be an idea or an invention. It's the willingness to think differently that changes everything. That changes everything. Now, with Chiron at 19 degrees of Aries and conjunct Mercury and the Sun, this is awareness. That's the most important thing that you get from Aries energy is awareness. It's not the assertiveness. It's not the courage. It's not the aggression. It's the awareness. To be aware is to be alive. So this is an awareness of just exactly where you are in your life and what the fuck you got going on, even for what you've allowed. You're accountable for all of that. You have to be responsible for where your feet are. You have to be accountable for what you allow. You have to be aware of where you are in your life, and that allows you to move forward. That allows you to move forward. Shout out to John Hinckley Jr. But yeah, that awareness is empowering in its own right. All of it is giving you a progressive push forward. Awareness allows for accountability. Accountability allows for actions that lead to healing. That's Chiron and Aries. The Sun and Mercury are kind of right now irritating things and forcing your hand. Oh, you're aware of it? Let's go ahead and take care of it. As comfortable as it may be, let's go ahead and take care of it. Confront it. Confrontation isn't a bad thing. It's only bad to people who fear conflict. Some conflicts are necessary. This don't have to be a conflict of interest. Now, just a second, I need to text my homegirl back. But yeah. This right here is awareness. Awareness holds you responsible for wherever you are in your life. And that allows you to hold yourself accountable for whatever action you need to take. Sometimes you just need to realize how far you've come. That gives you the courage to keep moving forward. Sometimes you need to realize what's stopping you. Sometimes you need to realize that, hey, you only get what you allow, and then stop allowing it. Sometimes you need to fight back or get away from something. So yeah, what's up, Vigorous Wolf? That is what it is.
Please tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
What's up, Chauncey Calloway? Where you been?
A nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It will
You disappeared. Y'all got a reading and you disappeared, Chauncey.
permanently if you let it.
Hurt my motherfucking feelings.
But it's gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard.
Made me doubt myself a little bit.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and
I'm sure. Flying Tiger, I don't care.
now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want
Flying Tiger.
him or her or anybody.
But yeah, man. Public perception is incredibly muddled. Like, there's so much rumors going around that you don't know the truth of it. Even like with P. Diddy. Nobody knows the truth of the situation with him, but I play about it. Everybody plays about it, so nobody really knows what's really going on. And then people have made up so many rumors that it's making the situation even more complex and heavy. You have people of all types now saying, well, I always felt weird about him, or he invited me to his house one time. Like, now you mentioning Diddy is what makes you motherfucking popular. Just like mentioning Shannon Sharp was what was doing it just a few weeks ago. It's a trip. So you can't get caught up in other people's shit. You need to work on you. That means holding yourself accountable for your own shit and where you are in your life. Realizing what you need to take care of and what your place is, what your battles are. That awareness that allows for accountability. That accountability allows for actions that lead to healing. Yeah. Sometimes you got to change the bandage. You feel me? Sometimes you got to change the bandage. Now, the black moon Lilith is at 21 degrees of Virgo, so people are too motherfucking critical right now. And they're picking apart other people, and they're seeing everything that's wrong with everybody else in the world, but they don't know what's wrong with them. People can pick other people apart, and they can see their deficiencies, but they don't understand that their own insecurities are on open display as they do that. People are hypercritical, way too analytical, and way too technical right now. There's also a certain nervous effect that makes things worse. There's a certain nervous effect that makes things worse. What's up, Villanita? I wish I could have help. I have a hernia. It's hurting right now. I need to push it in. Hold on. All right, that's good. That's good. On top of everything else, I got a fucking hernia now. This motherfucker, it doesn't hurt, but it's scary. It's really weird. It's only dangerous if it's dangerous, and you don't know if it's dangerous until it's dangerous. No. I have a hernia I'm pushing in. I really don't even know how I got it, but it's definitely a fucking hernia. It's not very fun. I'll tell you that. Neon Dion. The hat just matches my clothes. I'm not an Oakland A's fan. Fuck Jose Canseco. It's Taurus moon, so I wear my green today. I always dress accordingly. I'm a Libra rising. There's a method to my madness every single time. I dress purposefully. Kareem, the truth speaker. I have one in my it's my growing area, like you said, your pubic area. But yeah, it's kind of like above, a little bit above my. It's like right there on the base of my pubic area. Yeah. Did you have surgery on it? Yeah, you had surgery. I can't have surgery right now. I'm scared. I don't have money for surgery. I don't have insurance, so I have to wait and watch it. Hope it doesn't get strangulated or incarcerated the way that they do. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Oh, my dog was fine. He had an allergic reaction when he had it. His face had swollen up, but yeah, he's fine. Yeah. Bella, you call this a gap. I'm going to approach it like the big bad wolf. This is perfect for sucking on clitorises. Yeah. Yeah, Kareem, it's some weird shit. Like having to hold your fucking guts in to fucking use the restroom or cough or fucking, I don't know. It doesn't hurt bad. I feel it right now because I've been sitting down a long time, but it doesn't hurt bad. It just feels weird. And I'm scared of it. I'm scared of it. Was yours an emergency? Kareem, the truth speaker? Or was it strangulated or was it just stuck? How long did you have it before you had surgery? I don't know about infrared lights. With a hernia, you need surgery. You can keep pushing it in, but eventually you gonna need, the only way to fix a hernia is surgery. It only pop out when you ate gay's food. What? I can't. What the fuck you mean? But yeah, the only way to heal a hernia is surgery. And some people don't even, they don't necessarily need surgery immediately. I haven't. That bitch just bothered me today. Is making me worried that it's gonna force to do that. But other than that, I haven't needed it yet. I have to wait until it yeah. So back to what we were saying. That brings us to the North Node. The North Node is at 15 degrees of Aries. The South Node is at 15 degrees of Libra. So you can't sugarcoat shit, even with yourself. You have other people in your life, but to be honest with you, you need to not be so concerned about what their influence is on your life. Live more honestly. Experience your truth as a verb. That'll actually help your relationships. Especially for people like myself. Mine is in my 7th house. But for other people, depending on what house this is affecting, this just means that, hey, you need to do what's right for you, regardless of anybody else's influence or anybody else's opinion. And you doing what's right for you shouldn't bother anybody else. And if it bothers them, then that's their problem. And that's something they need to deal with within themselves. See, if you worked on your own shit and you took care of you and you tried to better yourself today and you did what's best for you, then the world would be a better place. Because through doing that, you have to understand you're the center of your universe. There's other people that you are in relationships with, and there's people that you love, and there's people that beautify your experience. But when you look through your eyes, it's nobody else but you. Yeah, it can wrap around and kill you. Or in your stomach, it probably can. In your growing, what happens is as far as hernias, is what happens is that piece of intestine or piece of fat tissue, whatever it is, whatever that tissue that's coming out of that hernia is it gets trapped and you can't reduce it, which is like when you push it back in. That's what they call it, is reducing it. And so if it gets trapped and you can't push it back in, then it gets called incarcerated. Once it gets incarcerated, it gets strangulated. Or even inside your bowels, as you keep pushing it in and pushing it out, your bowels can get twisted up. Like you said, or you said it can wrap around, but it can get twisted up. And then it causes a bowel obstruction, or it causes what they call strangulation. And it causes your intestines to get inflamed, and then you get sick, and then you have to cut out not only the hernia, but pieces of your guts. Or you could die. once it gets infarcted because you have gangrene inside of you or you have dead tissue inside of you killing you. So I'm very aware. I'm also terrified, but yeah, I'm very aware. It's terrifying. But yeah, you got to do what's right for you. That makes the world a better place. But even if you went to the hospital today, as long as it's not an emergency, they're not going to give you a surgery today. They would schedule it. You would talk to a surgeon, you would consult him, and there would be a scheduled surgery months or weeks down the line. What's up, Corey Walters? I definitely need to start a collection. I need to, I don't know how to start a GoFundMe. I wish somebody do it for me. I have to pay for it out of pocket. Yeah, that's what happens. You get septic. You go into septic shock. My mama went into septic shock one time. But yeah, that's what it's been, man. What's funny, Kareem? That shit sucks. That shit got me scared than a motherfucker, really. More than pain, I'm scared. There's people that have to live years with it. A lot of people live years with hernias. But some people develop a problem quickly and it fucks them up. We'll see. I haven't had surgery since I was a kid, like when I was 4 years old. I'm scared of surgery. I'm scared of the prep for surgery. I'm scared of going to the, I'm scared of getting diagnosed with shit. Pittsburgh, what's cracking? But no, I've never had surgery. I'm terrified of the whole experience. You're saying your mom had a hernia or she had intestines removed because their intestines got twisted up? Watkins Cat House. So, hey, the numerology today is a 4. There's also a 1 involved, so you have to take responsibility. It's funny that that 4 is very serious. That 4 is the most serious of all the numbers, and it's really like, hey, it's not like extreme like the 8, but the 4 is like, hey man, this is a serious situation, and the 1 is an awareness in its own right. It's a certain, has a certain Leo or Aries energy to it, where you realize this is about you. You're responsible for you. You're responsible for what happens from here. And so it's funny that this stuff is going on, and it's kind of exasperated a little bit today compared to other days, because I've been having it going on since Saturday. But I would say with this 4, the 4 vibration is a serious energy. It's about taking care of business. But yeah, it's about taking responsibility for whatever goes on from this point forth. That's interesting in its own right. But yeah, that happens. It can definitely happen. And I'm definitely scared of it. But it is what it is. Oh, she already had a colostomy bag. I understand. Prayers for your mom. So, hey, the floor is now open for any questions y'all might have. I'm going to be here answering questions for 30 more minutes. So we have 30 minutes of question answering, then I'm done. So let's get it out the way. And make sure y'all are respectful of my energy. There are hundreds. Sometimes there's anywhere from really 30 to 150 to 200 people in this chat at once. And so what I need is some discernment. And if I miss your question, I didn't skip you or ignore you. I just missed your question. Hit the super chat, the super sticker, the super thanks, and then I won't ever miss your question. But I still will never ignore you anyway. And then if you do that, it'll be a fair energetic exchange. Or better yet, hit that Cash App, because YouTube takes 40% of everything. Everything. And plus, I need to raise money for some motherfucking surgery. I don't know how to start a GoFundMe, or I would. And I feel like people wouldn't take me seriously. Yes, planets can aspect the midheaven and the ascendant. But I would say, in being an aspect to the midheaven or the ascendant is something I would speak on. I wouldn't really look at it aspecting the descendant or the IC, because that would be more subconscious effects. You feel me? Watkins Cat House, you said you have one question, but you have to write it in 2 parts because you can only write so much in the space they allow. Well, ask the question. Ask the question, sis. Ask the question. You have an important court date coming up at the end of June. Jupiter will be in Gemini at that point, conjuncture Chiron in the 5th and Mercury. Thoughts? I don't think that has anything to do with court. The Jupiter being there with Chiron and all that, I just don't think that has to do with your court. So your court situation is going to hinge on something else other than those placements you spoke on right there. You get what I'm saying? You said if it matters, it'll be Cancer season, conjunct his Mars in your 7th house. Now that's important. Litigation is in your 7th house. You see litigations in the 7th house. If it was some money involved or something like that, it might could come from the 8th house, but litigations is in the 7th house. But yeah. If there's settlements going on as far as money goes, what you have to understand is just because there's a settlement and somebody's ordered to pay something doesn't mean they're gonna pay something. And so that adds a whole different dynamic into the mix with that Pisces shit. With the Pisces energy being involved, I want you to, that's what I see with that, is with everything being involved in that litigation, that 7th house, and it's a family affair. This stuff going on, marriage stuff, family affair. What you see is no matter what is ordered, it doesn't mean that they're going to pay that, or that's what it is. Yeah. I was with a lady one time that got sued for $1 million and she lost. She lived in the projects. How you gonna sue her for $1 million? She lost this lawsuit for $1 million and they didn't seize her assets. She filed for bankruptcy. In filing for bankruptcy, there's nothing they could do. Nothing. It's just a loss. Fantasy Flower Child. You said you're a Libra moon in the 8th house. So, you beautiful and sexy. Passionate. Intense. All of that. What's up, Z? Shy crash out. Just go crash out. This is your permission to mash out. Go take your trash out. My bad, I had to send a text. Watkins Cat House. So you're a Cap rising. He has Cap in his 8th. Yeah. That means he might end up in debt. But he might pay it. Eventually. Eventually. Yes, you can. Alimony, they can seize it. Child support, but yeah, yes, you can. You just have to work under the table. You do a business a different way. You can't have a traditional job like that. Or you find a way to get paid through someone else. There's loops around all of that shit. That's the truth. I'm on child support, but I pay my child directly. I give my child money. That's something I worked out with the mother. Even though I'm on child support and I've never gotten taken off because I still would have back child support for all the time I was in prison, which I'm still responsible for. But now I give my child money directly because the nature of my business is I don't get paid in one lump sum a couple times a month. What I do is I get paid at different times. So as I'm able to help and able to give my daughter money, I give her the money that she needs. I mean, she's about to be 18 and we do good, but yeah. Dr. Jedi Vampire God King. That's Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. That's Mars and Pisces and Saturn. I mean, Mars and Saturn and Pisces. Probably I said Jupiter. I said it backwards. Mars and Saturn and Pisces. That's the Sun conjunct Mercury and Chiron. Now, can I talk about Pisces midheaven? Pisces midheaven gives you unlimited potential, but people always underestimate you. But you always surprise the world when you come, you know what I'm saying? You come like show them. And that's because people be projecting shit onto you. And you let them sometimes. And so the good thing is people underestimate you. People be projecting shit onto you. So you always surprise them. You always, like, impress. You always impress. I just been chilling. We just been chilling. I just talked about the transits. We're just chilling. There hasn't been a direction we're in today. We're just cooling. It's the Taurus moon vibe. We'll see what happens. Hopefully that helps. Now, you said Scorpio midheaven. That's a laser focus. You could have a multitude of talents with the Scorpio midheaven, but your laser focus is what brings you success. That's that Mamba mentality. And you operate at extremes too. You're willing to take it as far as you need to take it. You'll take it as far as the world expects. You're a go-getter in that way. Taurus midheaven. With the Taurus midheaven, you're about the money, or you're about the comfort, one of the two, or both. So a lot of the times you might stay within certain narrow parameters because you that's where you make the most money, or that's what's familiar to you, or that's what's more comfortable. So sometimes that could either plug you into something that's going to help you make a lot of money and it's going to be something safe for you, or other times it can limit you because you wouldn't get out of your comfort zone. So yeah, all of that. So laser focus, hocus pocus. Next question. Yeah, that's comfort then. I'm a Cancer midheaven. But I have Leo all in my 10th house. And interesting enough, I work from home. As far as my career, I've had lots of jobs, but my career is me working from my home. I operate a business out of my home. Avery Amon, squirter or creamer? Both. Dang, 13 moon Lily, let the freak stay. Damn, 13 moon Lily. Don't kick the freaks out. Come on, Ashley. You a freak. See, you want to be the only freak in the room. I guess it be like that sometimes. I can dig it. We got 20 more minutes. Let's make them count. Yeah. Damn, I missed a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, my mods are off the chain. Vigorous Wolf. Attuned to Ken. Tell him don't put the freaks out. Let me put you as a moderator so you can add them back. She don't do no fucking playing. You said, when is my apprentice gonna be ready to do readings? Soon. She's working on her method with me right now. She's doing stuff for the eclipse, but she does them for her family. But I would say soon, within the next 6 weeks, I'll have her ready. Pinoy Kyrie said, how do I feel about 3 gay men kissing? That's not my business. I want people to be happy doing whatever they want to do. Like, but why is it 3 of them, though? Like, not just, what do I think about? Well, that ain't my business. I don't care about the sexuality. I care about the spirituality. We want people to enjoy themselves doing whatever they do. How will crypto be with the planets this year? Great. Because Jupiter, especially right now, because of Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. Fucking great. Fucking great. What you mean wrong channel? Oh, you said 3. Oh, because 3. What do I think about 3 gay niggas kissing? I don't give a damn. Like, what the fuck? But why is it 3 of them? Why is it 3 of them? Y'all crazy. Or why did you have to specify the number of them even? Now that my brain is just keep dissecting it. Here's that Lilith in Virgo. It's like, why did you just say, what do I think about men kissing? or dudes, men kissing each other? Why did it have to be 3 of them? Because that adds a whole nother dynamic and it confuses me. Like, why is 3 of them in the mix? Why are we addressing 3? Yeah. Aquarius midheaven. They're about freedom. A lot of times it's not about the money. They're about the freedom. They want to be involved in whatever job gives them the most amount of freedom. And it's hard for them to work unconventional stuff. But Aquarius midheavens are people who have unique skill sets. They're inventive. They might even invent a new position. But for them, it's all about how much freedom that job is going to allow. Freedom is a religion that they follow faithfully. And so a lot of the times it's hard for them to fall under administration or to work some type of menial job. What does Lilith in Aquarius in the 6th house mean? You think too much? You be worried about other people too much? That can affect your health and stress you out? You be thinking you know what's best for everybody else? You think you can fix people? Phony Kyrie. No, I don't, but I need to start my OnlyFans, Buck Naked Astrology. They'll call me Dr. Longstroke, the 11-inch Grinch. We'll see Watkins Cat House. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll probably be all right. That ain't my business. But why did he say 3 niggas was kissing? Now, why couldn't it just be said, what do I think about about niggas kissing? Why it had to be 3 of them? There's something uncivilized about that. Yeah. Maybe he is. That's it. Hey, that's awesome. At this point, I believe anything. Do we have any more questions while we're here? Hit that Cash App while you're here. Show some love to the motherfucking chief. I'm here sharing energy with you. Share energy with me. Mr. Intense, I appreciate it. Shout out to Florida. To the Bayou. No, that's Louisiana. To the motherfucking, to the swamps. To the beaches. To the gators. Yeah. To them Seminoles. To them Jaguars and them Dolphins. Them Bucks. Them Marlins. Yeah. No, I'm just drinking cold water. Or it's cool. It's I mean, it's the same. I need more blankets and less blankets. What? What are y'all saying? How I need more and less? I need some meatloaf. I need some mushu. Mushu. I need some of that yum yum. Some of that tang. What's up, Erica Ochoa? How you doing? I mean, nobody else knows what I'm talking about but me, Heather, but the thing is, I probably won't let you live it down because I'm so curious. Vigorous Wolf. Straight out Australia, Carmela McCabe. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan. No, I just fly flags behind me that I don't fuck with. The hat is just a hat. I'm not an A's fan, but I like the hat. But I'm Dallas Cowboys through and through. I'm gonna tell you like they said on Hatfields and McCoy. He said I'm SuMtHiN Hatfield, up and down, straight, back and forth, from sun up to sunset. That's what I am. I'm Dallas Cowboys, from head to toe, from sun up to sunset, unfuckwittable. I'm finishing. I'll be done in about 15 minutes. 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left. Then I gotta move around, stand up. Change positions. Do something different. The hat just matches the outfit. And I'll never have anything on that doesn't match. I'm a Libra rising. Come in. Kazim Razak, I'm glad you're here though. Thank you, Mr. Intense. I'm like your index finger, baby. Flying Tiger. Yeah, stay blessed to you also. Assalamu alaikum. What's up, Nick Dalton? 1, 2, 3, Nichelle. See, that's like an old uncle calling you by your middle name, Nichelle. My sister's name is Lachelle. Well, that's not her first name, that's her middle name. Her first name is Jessica. But I call her Lachelle. Or Shelley. Kazim Razak. Shout out to Scotland. Shout out to the family. What's the next top 5? I don't know. I hope I feel good enough to bring y'all the top 5 on Friday. I'm not sure. I got to think about it. I come up with those either that morning or the day before. I haven't thought about it yet. Thank you. I plan on bringing y'all a good one. I don't know where we're going to go with it yet, but we're going to go somewhere with it. The greatest. What's up? I'm from Narnia. Straight through the wardrobe. What's cracking? We got 8 minutes to go. Let's make it count, y'all. So does anybody have any questions before we go? Anything they want to get out their system? Let's make it count. Does God exist? Yes, if love exists, then God exists, and love is everywhere. Goose Melons. I'm an astrologer and a numerologist professionally, but I do lots of things. What do you do? Right now? Launch an online store right now? Should the Cowboys fire Coach McCarthy or McCrappy, as you say? They got to do something. Stop blaming everything on Dak. The Cowboys probably need Jerry Jones to change his whole approach, and he's 80 years old. That's hard for him to do. Do I think money is each person's love made manifest and constantly changing according to how much love they feel between manifestations? No. I think money is a separate earth-bound entity. if that makes sense. You said, why does God doesn't do anything about cruelty? Because God is not going to interfere with nature in the way that people think the Creator would. The Creator is so much larger than that. Cruelty is human nature. Did me and my fam get to see the eclipse? No, it wasn't total here, and we did. I mean, I watched some of it on TV, but it happens all the time. I know it hasn't happened in totality in the way it happened in the United States, but there's eclipses all over the world every year. There's a total solar eclipse like that every 18 months. Ooh, I like that beat. Messi or Ronaldo, I don't know enough about either one of them to give you a determination. Do I think killing animals is good or bad? It depends on the situation. What do you mean? Ooh, that's my favorite beat I ever heard right there. That bitch has some nastiness to it. What's the equation you want to ask? Goose melons? That bitch right there. That's nasty. That's Texas shit. No, I don't think that about South America. I used to be the greatest. I'm not anymore. I'm a healer. Mr. Marvin, I'm finna go. I appreciate everybody's love and support. If any of y'all are interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't ever get at me in my comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. All right. And that goes for natal chart readings, whether it's an audio recording, whether it's a talk on the phone for 2 or 3 hours, or a Zoom reading for 2 to 4 hours. Whether it's solar return readings, whether it's transit readings, whether it's hour-long consultations, whether it's numerology readings, whether it's synastry readings, whether it's Pluto through Aquarius transit journey readings, get at me. Fuck with me. I'm world class. I thank everybody for tuning in today. I'll be back as soon as possible. I can't guarantee when. I'll be back as soon as possible. I got a fucking hernia. And so we'll see what happens with that. I plan on being here Friday, but that has to be God willing. I appreciate everything. Y'all keep it real. I love you.